So at this point, I'm still trying to do this on my own. I want to find a developer. I mean, I remember there was a brief moment where I kind of looked at how to become a developer, but that was just too long. So I went online, started looking for developers who could work with us, maybe take like a percentage of the company in order to build an early version of the app. But you gotta understand, like, this app is very complicated, and I don't even understand the depths of how complicated this app is. So we're approaching people and we're not getting anywhere. Later on, I found out developers are a very particular kind of people. I was told that developers are like mercenaries, meaning like you need to pay them. They're not gonna work for the cause, basically. Around this time, I've also brought in one of my close friends, Carl, who I made my COO. So he was helping me now, and it was good to have that support. So at this point, we've spoken to a couple developers. We got introduced to somebody that said he could do it and was very confident, gassed himself up, and then they all just disappeared. I don't even know, I can't remember what happened to all of them, but somewhere along the line, they stopped delivering and they disappeared. So now we've kind of come to this firm decision that we are gonna have to raise some money. So at this point, like, I've got ideas drawn out on paper. So these are like app screens, basically labeled up to show what button would go where, what would do what. So what I found was that even some of the bigger companies that I contacted, because I had a good idea and because I went to like a key decision maker, I would get little pieces of advice back. So somebody said to me, we needed a prototype. We didn't need to build a whole beta, we could just build a prototype. I didn't know what the fuck this was. I didn't know how I was gonna do it. Obviously, I don't have the money to spend, $5 on a prototype. So now I've had to learn how to do this myself. Oh, one thing I didn't mention. So I have experience with graphics design and stuff like that as well. Small experience, self-taught. Now I'm a bit better because obviously I've had to do this and I've probably built like 9, 10 different prototypes over the years. But we needed a prototype at this point, and I just started studying how to do it. I used a platform called Sketch, which is one of my favorite apps on the Mac. It is incredible design tool, very efficient, lightweight, just does what it needs to do. I love it. I use that to build our prototype. So essentially taking the screens that I had drawn, which are called wireframes, and I've created a prototype from that, which you can load up on your phone and click through it as if it was a real app. Now this is where people started to look a bit closely at what we were doing, but still nobody really gave a shit. I finished making our first version and I found a book called The Art of Startup Fundraising. And this was one of the real game changers for me, because this helped me look at things in a very different light. It helped me strategize who we were going to approach and how we were going to approach them, what type of funding was available to us and things like that. So if anyone's trying to raise money, like, I definitely recommend you read that book. One of the things I learned was that we needed to put together an advisory board. These were people who knew more than us, because we didn't have the experience amongst ourselves. We had the vision, the passion, the tenacity, but we didn't have the experience, especially on a project of this scale. So we went out and started meeting people and recruiting them as advisors on the platform. So we give them like a small piece of equity ranging from like 0.5% to 2%, depending on their skill set and what they could potentially bring to the table. And the idea was that they would provide us with advice and any contacts that could help strengthen the platform, and we would give them an ownership stake in the platform in exchange for this. At this point, we've also brought in our CMO and CFO to help us with our marketing schedules and our financial projections. This is where the team is starting to kind of take shape. We had it in our mind that we were going to go and raise £1 million. So we thought we're going to take this, we're going to raise £1 million. That will give us the money we need for a 12 months runway, and we were going to absolutely kill this.
Wrong again.
So as we started approaching these VCs and investors to raise this £1 million, we soon realized that this shit was not gonna happen.